Welcome back to Pixelmon Island Season 7, Episode 1.5. So, instead of... So I decided to make this Episode 1.5 instead of Episode 2, because all the gameplay in this video is actually from the first day. So, the way how we usually do things is the server opens up at midnight of the day. So, of course, we're gonna play for a couple hours, and then, I still love my sleep, so I just go to bed. So, all the gameplay here is from day one. I'd also like to apologize in advance. From this point onward, recording has been incredibly weird for this season. I miss a lot of, important stuff. But, I'm thinking going forward, I'm just gonna try and clip together whatever I have, and, just use that. I think this episode is going to be the longest one, because this is, I think I have the most, recording material for this day. The other days, I only have, a couple hours of recording that I was able to get. So, the other episodes are probably not gonna be as long as this one. But, yeah. First up here in this clip, I think I have the Ralts. I'm trying to train up the Ralts from the last episode, because the Pokemon that I plan on using as my Pokemon catching Pokemon is Gallade. After going through the whole Pokedex and seeing what we have access to, the best option I think was Gallade by far. But I think coming up here, eventually, yeah, Ralts evolves. So one of the Pokemon that I plan on taking into the tournament at the end of the season is Obstagoon. And I didn't talk about it before, but every single season, whenever I'm putting together my team, I always try to get a full team of shiny Pokemon that are also of a large size as well. So in Pixelmon, there's different sizes of Pokemon that you can get that I think range from Pygmy, which is less than half the size of what they should be, to Ginormous, which is almost 3 times I think the size of what they usually are. So here I come across a Galarian Linoone, which I think is a enormous one. So I go and I try to catch it, but this ends up taking forever. And I end up using the majority of the Pokeballs that I have on hand. But eventually, I get it. But then I get a nasty surprise right after coming out of this battle. Wow. That took forever. Okay. Huh? Why are you here? You shouldn't be here. Damn, another legendary really spawned, huh? I do not have the wealth. I do not have the resources. I do not have any of that. Any of the means to get the Raikou. I also don't really care for getting Raikou. I have bigger dreams for other legendaries that I'd like to get for the season. After a bit of, training up my Pokemon, I eventually start exploring again, and I come across this small beach island where I'm going to create a really important part of the season. Because this is also a beach biome, I also figured I should save it, because there's a berry that I need to forage for in the beach biome. So I go and I try and throw out my Haunter here to forage, just to see if I could get lucky. So while I'm also looking for the beach biome, I'm also at this time was looking for a place to store all my items. I mean, I could just put everything in my house, but I don't know. I'm a greedy individual. I like to make sure that all the items I have are safe. So, like, not that there's been a history of theft in the past seasons, but I don't know. You can never be too safe, you know? I like to know that all my items are where they need to be and nobody's messing around with them. So I'm exploring this cave, and I think eventually, at the end of it, I decide to just start digging down. Because at this time, too, I'm also like trying to look for ores. Because money is so non-existent this season, I figured that instead of buying the Pokeballs, it would be worth to actually start crafting them this season. And to do that, I would need lots of coal and iron and various resources to be able to cook and craft all the different parts of each Pokeball. So eventually, I dig down. I'm digging a little what is it, like 1x4, just to get to a lower elevation. Maybe I'll find something like diamonds or something. And then I eventually come across this little space. And the second that I landed in here, I knew. I was like, alright, this is where we're setting up our base of operations. It's in an easy to find spot that I know where I could find in the future. And it's of nice space, so I could definitely store all my items here without any issues, among other things as well. Then I go ahead, I clear out a little bit more space, and I place down the chests. Eventually, while I was AFKing in the Badlands biome, I saw something really interesting. I come across my first teal boss, which was this Mega Metagross. At this point, I am completely unprepared to take this thing on. I go and I attempt to fight it anyway. Right now, my best bet at taking it out, I think, is Curse, from my Haunter. But I think I end up fighting it, and he just constantly gets outspeeded by this Metagross, and I can't do anything about it. After spending some time going around the Badlands, trying to look for bosses, I come back to spawn, and I come across this enormous Snivy, which Snivy is the Dokanian form, I suppose, or it's Sir Viper, I think it's called, that I want to take into the final tournament. So this was a really good find on my part. As I'm coming back to spawn, I see this epic mega boss Beedrill. I end up using Curse without Haunter getting taken out immediately. And then from that point, I was able to stall out the Mega Boss Beedrill with my Zigzagoons. this ends up being the first Mega Boss that I was able to take out this season. I think after this moment, everything sort of like sped up, where just the rate that I was able to train everything up just increased exponentially. After this happened, I decided that I needed more storage to store all the items in my inventory. I then remembered that this season we also have a crafting recipe to make backpacks. I'm pretty sure in base Pixelmon they're not craftable. Here though, I think this was a really good change. And I end up crafting 3 extra backpacks to store all my items in. Eventually, I am able to grind up enough money to buy a daycare. If I'm going to be getting all the shiny Pokemon that I need for my team, I think the best way to go about doing it is breeding. Especially since this is another feature that we changed for this season as well. Normally in Pixelmon, I think the breeding requirements are not worth it. I think a lot of the items that you need to breed one singular time is just absolutely ridiculous. Like I remember last season, I was breeding water type Pokemon, and one of the requirements was like 2 water buckets, I think. And the worst part is you don't even get to keep the bucket. It takes the bucket with it. So I have to craft a bucket, fill it, and then use that every single time just to breed one Pokemon that maybe will have, like, the stats and nature and IVs and whatever that I need. This season, the changes were a lot better, though, because instead of the random Minecraft items, it was berries instead. So then I decided to go to the desert and to start hunting for Magmar. Because a drop that Magmar has are fire shards. And so fire shards are part of the crafting recipe for a dragon stone, which are the the evolution stone that we have for the special Dokanian forms that we have for this season. So after collecting the amount of shards I need to craft the Dragonstone, I eventually find a solution to my money problem. So after doing a small, a little bit of research on the move Payday, I found out that Meowth isn't the only thing that can learn this move. Another Pokemon that can learn the move Payday is Pikachu. So at this point, I start trying to catch as many Pikachu as I can for the small chance that it might be holding a light orb. I thought that this would sort of be a good held item to have until I'm able to get like an amulet coin or some other means to double the amount of money I get. After catching these Pikachu, though, I never end up getting the light orb, which I think it's only a 5% chance that they're going to be holding one, so it's, my hopes weren't too high, and I really didn't want to spend that much time trying to, get a light orb. I have much better things that I needed to be doing at this point of the game. Eventually, though, I catch a Pikachu that's like level 30 something, which is better for Payday because the amount of money you get from Payday scales with the Pokemon level. So here it is, my level 35 Pikachu. I go and I teach it Payday, and that'll be the last of that TM that I ever see for the rest of the season. And then, to end off the first day, I'm just foraging in the beach biome, trying to look for a berry I need. I think here I'm looking for the Starf Berry. So a big part of Pixelmon 2 are the Pokemon lures. If you notice my inventory, I already have some berries. I didn't get to capture it on on video, but I already built a sort of like farm for all the different berry trees that grow the different berries for all the lures. I don't think it takes me long to get the starfberry here. I feel like it usually doesn't take that long. The item pool for foraging at a beach is very small. Like, compared to foraging in other biomes, the beach is just not a problem. Like, if you're trying to forage for a berry in, like, the forest, it's awful. The pool is just so big. There's so many different items that you can get, and the foraging cooldown is just so slow at certain times. Like, when you really get into a rhythm, there's gonna be times where you're just waiting there, waiting for the cooldown to end. I think here, after about maybe like 5 minutes, I finally get the starfberry to show up. So there's the berry I need, and at this point of the day, I'm satisfied with all the things I've done for the first day. The last thing I do is I go and eventually I was able to figure out what was going on with the breeding, and I did end up putting the 2 Zigzagoon in, and so I go and I collect the first egg. This then ends day 1 technically of season 7 of Pixelmon Island. Um like I said, the videos, I think I'm still gonna do like every episode is gonna be a day. Um, this is probably gonna be the longest episode, I think, just because there was so much gameplay I had to go through. Um, but yeah, the next episodes might be a little chaotic and a little confusing because I don't know, I missed a lot. I'll try to explain everything that I missed though. I mean, a big reason why I'm kind of doing this is just to sort of have a way to like look back on like what I did for this season. But yeah, thanks for watching.